published 6:43 Eastern Standard Time, the 27th of December 2017, updated 6:43 Eastern Standard Time, the 27th of December 2017. It is one of those rumors that just rumbles on. Arturo Vidal has been linked to Chelsea ever since Antonio Conte arrived in West London, and the speculation has been smouldering away on the back burner ever since. "If we go to war, I'd always want him with me," said the Chelsea coach of Bayern Munich midfielder Vidal on Tuesday. Flat-out denials of interest usually sound a little different. Conte was the man who brought Vidal to Juventus back in 2011. It seems only natural that he would want the Chilean midfielder back under his wing at Chelsea. A player of Vidal's tenacity seems tailor-made for the Premier League. Antonio Conte has fueled talks that may try and sign Bayern Munich's Arturo Vidal on Tuesday. Chelsea boss Conte said he'd go to war with the Bayern and Chile midfielder. The only question is whether Chelsea are able to prize the Chilean away from Bayern. And if Vidal's transformation in the last few weeks is anything to go by, that may prove to be an impossible task. Just 6 weeks ago, it didn't seem unlikely at all. While Bayern had restored their brutish dominance over the Bundesliga under Jupp Heynckes, Vidal's stock had fallen. After a particularly poor display in the Champions League against Celtic, Heynckes delivered a stinging verdict on the Chilean. "I expect a lot more from him than what he showed on the pitch today," said Heynckes after Bayern laboured to victory in Glasgow. Vidal had not enjoyed the best start to the season. Far from top fit, there were question marks over his lifestyle. He was reportedly involved in a scrap at a nightclub in September. Yet as Bayern struggled under Carlo Ancelotti, he at least showed some spirit, launching himself into tackles with his usual brutish gusto. Conte, seen here celebrating with Vidal, brought the midfielder to Juventus back in 2011 once Heynckes arrived to steady the ship. However, that gusto started to look more like aggression and lack of control. The rest of the team stabilized, but Vidal continued to scamper around erratically. When he wasn't looking lost, he was trying too hard. With Javi Martinez returning to an authoritative role in defensive midfield, there seemed to be little breathing room for Vidal. Just days after the Celtic game, Kicker were reporting that Bayern would look to sell the 30-year-old. With his contract set to expire in 2019, the German club would have to sell him by next summer to avoid losing him on a free transfer. Vidal's days in Munich seemed numbered. Heynckes, though, was never likely to give up hope on a player like Vidal, whom he had coached before at Leverkusen. Vidal has been transformed in the last few weeks, playing for Bundesliga giants Bayern, and as fine a piece of man management as you will see this season. Heynckes gave Vidal a sharp kick up the backside, berating him for his lack of fitness and mistake-ridden performances. "I had a long talk with him. I told him that he had to change something if he wanted to play," said Heynckes. "He didn't see it as I did, but from that moment on, he changed the way he was training. He also changed the way he was playing." Days after Kicker had reported his imminent departure, Vidal sent a footballing middle finger to his doubters with an astonishing performance against Augsburg. In an imperious performance, he picked up a goal and an assist, and was roared off the pitch by a delighted Allianz Arena. "I know what he is capable of from our time at Leverkusen," said Heynckes after the Augsburg game. "The way he played today was how he always played in our first year together." Jupp Heynckes delivered a stinging verdict on Vidal after a poor performance against Celtic. The Augsburg game proved to be a watershed moment, as Vidal went on to score in each of his next 3 games as well. As Bayern have struggled with injuries in the last few weeks, the Chilean has stepped up to the plate, his boundless energy pushing the team over the line in several narrow victories. His transformation is emblematic of Heynckes' brilliant work since taking the reins at Bayern in October, and he now seems as valuable an asset as ever for the Bundesliga leaders. Yet he remains that, an asset, rather than an absolute necessity. Vidal can still be a liability if he wants to be. He picked up a yellow card within 5 minutes against Eintracht Frankfurt earlier this month, and it is that which keeps him from being a truly indispensable leader. The likelihood of Vidal seeking an exit from Bayern in the winter appears incredibly slim. It may still be that Bayern wish to cash in on Vidal next summer. Heinkes, after all, is set to leave at the end of the season, and the Chilean may be tempted by a return to another familiar father figure in Antonio Conte. Vidal's physicality would surely suit the Premier League, where referees would treat certain fouls with a little more clemency than they do in the Bundesliga. His instinctive desire to find the quickest route forward and his ability to hunt down opposing midfielders would undoubtedly be of service to Chelsea. But the likelihood of Vidal seeking a backdoor exit from Bayern in the winter is now incredibly slim. Since mid-November, he is no longer a superfluous liability, but a warrior once again. Bayern, who is still in all three competitions, will need him for the war ahead.